Okay, I suppose I better show you this. I've had this. Hang on. Don't even know what I'm doing now. Okay, that's the way it points. Right. I've had a bit of a problem with the oil feed. Stainless steel 3/16 outside diameter pipe that runs from the general area of the oil pump down here, under quite a bit of pressure. Obviously it goes up this tiny little pipe and into the rocker feed to keep them all nice. How this is done is you've got essentially a compression fitting. If you've ever done plumbing, you'll be familiar with these. The pipe just goes into a hole, and then there's a rubber collar around it, and then this gland nut, 13mm spanner you need for this. Looks like in a 1/2 inch, it's not, it's 13mm, it's slightly bigger. That tightens down, it squashes the plastic grommet and makes an oil seal, and this works surprisingly well. And also looks dead steampunk. Like the push rods. Right, having it all on the outside. The problem here is this one at the front has been letting go. It let go majorly when I first started the bike up, and I tightened it up, and about 100 to 180 miles later it went again. Problem is it got bent, and this is probably me, and it doesn't fit. It's too short. It can just about grab hold of it, but then after you bumped it around for a few miles it lets go again. So what I've done, I cut it in the middle. I suppose you could use a hacksaw or a disc cutter. I used a pipe cutter, again from plumbing, and you can see I cut it and I separated it. I put some pipe around it, that's petrol pipe, God knows whether it'll hold it, and tightened it back up again, and look at the gap. That was how short it was, or how bent it was. I tried unbending it, I couldn't. It's worse than anything. Long story short, I've ordered some brass 3/16 outside diameter pipe. One, because it'll look lovely, and two, because it'll be a lot easier to cut and everything than this stainless steel stuff. But this wasn't too bad with the pipe cutter. The thing to remember though is whatever method you use to cut the pipe, you'll have made an internal lip on the cut, and you'll need to de-burr that either with a tool or by using a slightly bigger diameter drill and sort of countersinking it. But you will need to take that out because that'll provide a constriction, and normally that'll just increase the pressure. It won't really restrict the flow, but you've got a lot of pressure down here that's trying to push that apart and leak everywhere. So definitely keep the flow. There is a kit you can buy where you get not only brass oil lines, but they've also got big curl in them like a trumpet, which is totally funky, and different nuts at the bottom and the top. That all comes with it because they're a bigger diameter, and they are nice, but they cost a lot of money. I mean, they're about $50. Put in perspective, the tube I've ordered is just under £6. They do look nice, but it did worry me that the bore is bigger. I might be getting it wrong, maybe the bore isn't bigger, but they were saying about it solving that dry top end problem. I don't have a dry top end problem, which would indicate to me they've just made the thing bigger, which would increases the bore, but it reduces the pressure. I'm not certain that's a brilliant idea. Of course, I'm not an engineer. I'm barely a mechanic, honestly. So I couldn't really tell you. Other than that leak, which has held me up for ages, it is behaving really well. If we go over to the clocks here, the new olds, they're no longer new old stock, they're just old. 181 miles on the clock now. But if you look at the rev counter, it will go up to 5,200. No, 6,200. This one, because it's a Sportster. It should tick over at 1,000. But the important thing is I'm running it at the moment, so I can only take it to 3,500 RPM. That's like 3,000 RPM for the first 100 miles, and then for the next 400 miles, 3,500. The way I've got it geared up at the moment, it does have because it was designed to cruise at 55 because of the fuel crisis. So I've got a smaller sprocket here, it's 45 tooth, and 3,500 indicated on the tachometer is 70 miles an hour on the speedometer, which is probably closer to 65. But that's not bad. So this thing should cruise at British motorway speeds, which is what I was hoping for, because I do have to go to the West Country every now and then. Everyone I know is there, and it just seems a shame to do it on in the Ford car when I could do it on this. Anyway, cheery bye.